During the 2016 legislative session, higher education funding was slashed by more than $153 million, making college degrees inaccessible to some Oklahomans, and that will continue to be the case if those deep fiscal cuts aren't mended. In an attempt to alleviate the problem, an advocacy group called Oklahoma Tomorrow has launched. So here with us is its CEO, Devery Youngblood.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us here.
Glad to be here.
So I read a quote that you said of the current budget situation and also of your group's mission. You said, "We cannot allow today's budget crisis to cripple tomorrow's future." Now, from everything I've researched, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that really seems to be the backbone of your mission.
Yes, it's hard because right now we have short-term problems that are really truly devastating with the oil and gas downturn. And higher education is a long-term investment, but if we continue to do what we're doing, we're not going to have the outputs that we need. And we're looking as private sector folks back into that jobs pipeline and seeing that we're not really getting the kinds of graduates we need now. And if we continue down this road, it's going to be potentially very harmful to us and to the state in the future.
And we're talking here about a 16% cut to those colleges and universities across our state. And I'm guessing here, making degrees less of an option because with less funding comes a spike in tuition rates, right? It's kind of a symbiotic relationship.
Yes, it's all of that, and it's not only that part. It's 16% last year, which a lot of people will say, okay, we all turned back during the oil downturn, but we have cut higher education more in the last 5 years than any state in America, and we have $4 million less in the system now than we did in 2001, and that means we can't get the teachers and the professors we need for many of the jobs that we need the most. We're in that new knowledge economy now, and it requires more engineers and more nurses and more of these high-tech jobs that need a whole lot more training, and we can't afford to get those kinds of things in the labs that go with them.
And kind of keep on taking me through this domino effect here and take me through this list. What are the things, your top things that you're worried about most when it comes to this, pretty palpable drop in funding that we're seeing?
I'll give you one good example. General Levy, who is the commanding officer at Tinker, is telling anyone who will listen to him that he can hire every single engineer that we graduate in Oklahoma next year and still have empty chairs at Tinker. That ought to really scare us. And we see that carried out over all these other places that need engineers as well. The Devons, the Boeings, Nordam in Tulsa, and all these others who desperately need that. And we're not able to produce them today at the level we need to, much less in the future.
And sticking with that same topic, this was kind of staggering to read yesterday too. Every public nursing school in Oklahoma is at capacity, which limits the number of new students that they can take in. So essentially, we're just turning away students left and right?
Yes, we have a critical nursing shortage, literally nationwide, but in Oklahoma we're making it worse because we are turning away people who are qualified and could be in those programs, but we don't have the money to expand them and do the things that we need. One simulated patient that a nurse has to work on costs $85,000. And so some of these schools have to have multiple of these, and you want them working on those things because that's how they learn to go into the workforce and help. So we have this critical need and we're literally turning people away. Same with engineering.
So look into your crystal ball for me. In the future here, if we are turning away these people left and right, these nurses that you're talking about, IT workers, STEM researchers, what does the future look like for us when you haven't educated an entire group of those people wanting to, go into those fields?
Well, the very thing we're trying to do right now is to continue to diversify our economy so that the next oil and gas downturn, which is inevitable, that we live in a cyclical economy, when that happens, it doesn't hurt quite as much. And the very things that we need to do that, we're making impossible. So we might solve a short-term problem by thinking short-term, but we're making the long-term problem a whole lot worse, and we're just going to have more problems in the future because we're not producing the kind of graduates we need.
And I know other departments and other groups, statewide are being told, 2016 legislative session was bad. Also prepare for more cuts possibly to come this year too. And I know a lot of people have hope, such as your group, and you have to have hope, but a lot of people too at home, I think, want to be, hit with the truth. At what point do you actually get back on your feet from being in these kinds of fiscal trenches? We're trying to fill a $900 million budget deficit here.
I think one of the things that's very important is our group did not form to be a legislative basher. Those guys have one of the toughest jobs in the world right now. And we have a lot of friends there and a lot of people that we're talking with at all levels. The governor's office and other places, and we want to work with those folks. They have just brutal decisions that they're going to have to make this year. But if you support some of those other things like Common Ed or the DHS and all of those things, you need to support the ability to put more people through the college system and come out and be productive members of our economy and of our society, because that's long-term how we get more dollars for all of those things.
And I know that your group is made up of, just engaged citizens, private sector leaders. What is your game plan for actually tackling the issue at hand?
Well, first thing we have done is get out to see the colleges and understand things ourselves. We hear things that we wanted to verify for ourselves whether they were true or not. One of the biggest ones being that higher ed is just flush with a lot of money. Haven't seen it at all. Matter of fact, I would encourage anybody who thinks that to go sit down with the chief financial officer at any one of these 25 colleges or universities. It's not there. And so that's a lot of what we're trying to do, is cut through some of the maze and find out what is really going on here, and be able to give our best advice from the private sector and let people know this is how it's impacting us now. And as we look out, we know it's going to impact us even worse.
And I know, the next session starts February 6th, just a couple weeks from now. Is this going to be something y'all are at the Capitol every day, talking to lawmakers and fighting this fight?
Well, we are not a lobbying group per se, but we will be talking to them and trying, as much as anything, to show what's happening on the private side. I think we've not been the voice at the table, and that's on us. The higher education system is working really hard to defend their system. The legislature is working very hard to try to figure out how to put things in place. And we feel like we were the missing voice. And so we're there now, and we want to join with them and try to figure out what this solution is.
And my last question to you is just, I'm sure you've been in talks with students as well who are going through this, or, all of a sudden a degree isn't an option for them and their family. What are you hearing from students in particular?
I learn more from them than anybody that I talk to, and it's amazing. We have so many people in Oklahoma who are working so hard to stay in college. They're paying their own way. Almost half of the students in college in Oklahoma today are in our two-year schools. And those people are disproportionately more likely to be the first generation in their family
and
to
put
go.
that number in terms for me. Half of our students, what does that number equate to?
Oh heavens, I forgot the actual number.
Okay.
But it's 45% of everybody going to colleges are in our two-year system. And a whole lot of those folks are one car repair away from dropping out of college forever. So as you raise tuition, as you make classes less available to them, which makes them have to stay in college longer, we are exacerbating a problem a whole lot while we're trying to solve a short-term problem.
Okay, Devery Youngblood with Oklahoma Tomorrow. Thank you so much for
Good to be
your
here,
time.
Marky. Thank you.